Hello and welcome to World Talks with me, Ashim Kumar. Tonight we examine the Nordic Baltic summit in Tallinn with President Zelensky pressing for air defence, drone cooperation and tougher sanctions on Russia. With Tomasz Zduńczyk, Baltic and Nordic Analyst, Polish Institute of International Affairs, we discuss Ukraine's Latvia drone deal, Estonia's security role, EU integration, regional deterrence, and why the NB8 support matters now. Tomasz, welcome to TVP World, and thank you for taking the time.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, President Zelensky is attending this summit, and it happened today. What was the significance of his presence amongst these leaders?
So, we've had in last month, a lot of incursions, drone incursions in Baltic states and Finland. So the significance of the Zelensky was that the summit will concentrate more on drones and the air defense systems, as you said. So this is the significance of the.
Okay, and how has that conversation gone? I know that Latvia has agreed to purchase some drones from Ukraine. What's the texture of that agreement, and is it the only country in the Baltic states that is?
So it's called simply by Ukrainians as a drone deal. There was a couple of countries in Europe who already signed it, and the Latvia is the last one in the row. For the Latvia, it was crucial to have cheap drone interceptors to intercept the Ukrainian or Russian drones which are incurred in their air space. Yes, and this is this agreement is not only about the buying systems, but this is also about taking Ukrainian operators, Ukrainian specialists, to Latvia to help to even train the Latvian soldiers in the air defense.
So it's know-how.
Yes, and also the industrial cooperation. So there will be probably some kind of industrial cooperation in the drone industry between the Latvia and the Ukraine.
Right, okay. Now, the Baltic states have always been very supportive of Ukraine, in fact, to the extent of giving Ukraine 42 billion euros, which, for countries of that size is a sizable amount. What does that tell you about their strategic priorities?
So, this 42 billion is the Nordic and the Baltic states,
right? Okay.
Together, because of the economy. But for the Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, even for Finland, the Russians are the main threat, the long-term threat even, and to prevent new Russian invasion on new Russians hybrid warfare activities in the Baltics is simply the main strategic goal in this area. So
but I mean,
keep the Russia out.
How effective do you think the Baltics and the Nordic states have been in fighting hybrid warfare? For example, when it comes to stopping the shadow fleet.
So the shadow fleet is the very tricky problem because of the international sea law. There are even now some kind of discussions how can we prevent the Russians and the shadow fleet operating on the Baltics. This is also the environmental threat for us. So I think in the recent months there will be some kind of decision made, but we have the Baltic states and also Nordics they're trying to stick to the law because Russia is.
Yes, but I mean, Russia has been sanctioned. The shadow fleet vessels have been sanctioned, so it is legal to stop these ships from going through the Baltics, and yet these countries are doing very little to actually action those sanctions, implement those sanctions, and now we have a 21st package of sanctions where they're adding another 30 ships to that list. Do you think that these countries are going to finally stop these ships going through the Baltics?
to be honest, it's very hard question on that time, because like as I said, the problem is the international law. We have to stick to it, and there is like the free of the sea. So yeah, I would say that there will be some kind of decision made by these countries, but also like the other hybrid threats are very, like the Baltic states are, I think, one of the best countries to prevent like other kinds of like the hybrid activities. So let's say that cyber security, as Estonia has the whole center of excellence in NATO. So yeah, it's not that they are not doing much. They are doing so much to prevent the Russians, and they are thinking and discussing the new decisions, the new ways to prevent Russians.
Right.
Russian, let's say, hybrid activities.
Right. I mean, it does seem, though, that they seem more concerned with following the letter of the law, and they're fighting a country which doesn't really seem to have much concern about any international law, including maritime law. Now, in terms of this closer relationship between Ukraine and these countries, do you see a role that they can play when it comes to Ukraine applying for EU membership or even for NATO membership?
Like after the summit in Tallinn today, it was like kind of joint declaration on enhanced security and defense cooperation published by this countries, and there was not only about the defense and security topics, but there was also about the Ukraine joining the EU, and there was like the countries signalized that urge to open the all clusters, Ukrainian clusters, to the EU during this month or July. So there was like, there is no like any kind of cooperative, but they want Ukraine in EU, and they affirm. Yes.
They're supporting accession.
Yes, they are
basically
supporting it, yes.
Okay, now with NATO, NATO is also offering Ukraine 90 billion euros, I believe, and they want a decision made on that by the next NATO summit in Ankara. Tell us what the significance of that amount is for Ukraine.
Oh, this would be a big amount of money that Ukraine can use, and the Baltic states and the Nordic, the AB8, declared today that they will support. They support like the NATO as a cornerstone of the European defense, and they also declared that they will try to make other allies helping Ukraine as much as we can as a NATO. So yeah, like there was very positive declaration.
All right. I mean, there has been a sense, hasn't there, before the Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine, that the Baltic states were insignificant. However, we've seen over the past 4 years that they're far from it. They've become very, very influential. How would you compare the NATO's eastern flank today with what it was 4 years ago when the full-scale invasion began?
So yes, now we are spending so much on defense as a whole eastern flank. The coordination between our armed forces are better, and with everywhere it would be better and better, because we are trying to do it. And I would say that the Baltics are small but very smart in their defense, especially the Estonia. And they are trying also, as we could see during the incursions, they were cooperating in the air defense area, like the whole Baltic area, like the Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, were like the unite air defense space. So there was like the Romanian F-16 from Šiauliai air base were navigated by Latvian air defense center, and they destroyed the drones over Estonia. So we have like whole three countries cooperating in fighting with the probable like kind of incursions of drones. There was the Ukrainian one, but this is like, this make us hope that in the time of the some kind of more like the threat from Russia, like I don't want to say the word invasion, but some kind of incursion, they will react properly and they will react fast, and there will be the like the unity in between.
Right, so they've practiced this interoperability.
Yes. And they showed also to Russia.
A combined response. Now, let's bring Poland into the picture. How does Poland fit into this? Because Poland, of course, is also in the eastern flank of NATO. How does Poland fit into this relationship between Baltics, Nordics, and Ukraine?
Like from the Polish perspective, there was like kind of pivot to the north, and we are trying because of the Shadow Fleet or other Russian hybrid activities, and also Sweden and Finland joining the NATO. Poland wants to also made some kind of impact on the northeastern flank, let's say. And I think after the 2022, we are doing good job in this situation. We are trying to make this cooperation on the high level between, for example, Sweden and Finland and Poland, because we see that these countries like the Sweden, the Finland, this is my personal opinion, it's not the Polish government or opinion, but the consciousness of these countries about the Russian threat is the same as in Poland, the same as in Romania, and the same as in Baltic states. So we are trying to cooperate with the coalition of but let's say the coalition of countries that see that Russia will be the long-term main threat for our European security on the eastern flank, but not also on the eastern flank, because we see that they can made also like the significant threat for the Western Europe.
Yeah, I mean, how successful? I understand what you're saying, that all of these countries, including Poland, are more conscious of this. But how successful have they been in enhancing their defences?
Whoa! So Nordic and Baltic states are the leaders in the military spendings in NATO. They also in today's declaration they reaffirmed the need to increase the
per capita.
They are the highest one, but they also reaffirmed that they want to there is the need to increase the defense spendings to 5% to the 2035. So I would say that they will be highly militarized, but also we have very innovative countries in this list. So we have Finland, we have Norway. Their capabilities also in Arctic are crucial for the NATO. So this group of countries, their significance in within the NATO will only grow from my perspective and from my in the next years. So yes.
Tomasz, thank you very much indeed for your analysis, and have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, as always, lots more coming up. Goodbye.